Greetings, ghouls and goblins. It's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod here to talk about the challenge Season 40, Episode 11, titled Payback Era. Last week on the challenge, after a Jordan and Tori daily win, Michelle cried in the ambulance, and after Bananas eliminated Ryan, he set Naya, Olivia, and Michelle as this week's targets. Before I dive in, this is part of my Halloween Spooktacular, which means silly, spooky friends will pop up throughout the video just like this. The first 10 people to comment, pointing out 3 of the friends and their disguises, will win a sticker from me, which I'll send you in the mail, and a shout out in next week's video. So happy hunting on that. If you like the video, consider liking and subscribing, but let's dive into it. Back at the castle, Tori calls Bananas classless and points out that it's Bananas angels versus her side of the house. I'll call them Devin's devils. Come on, it's too easy. A few of the players, including Derek, are greatly benefiting from not being involved in this mess. Michelle is unhappy, storming over to Bananas and finds him hiding in his regular spot in the armoire. They have a little tiff where Michelle says she feels disrespected and Bananas expresses that he was trying to help Michelle, and it turns him into being the villain. Turns out there's some distrust among the newly formed Ladies of Leisure, or as they call themselves, the LOLs for short. Naya worries that her hooking up with Kyland will cause a conflict of interest with his friends Michelle and Olivia, but for now, the LOLs are still friending it up. They head to their daily challenge called Building Bridges, and listen up because they have a lot to do. It's kind of like a wipeout course. They have to climb up a tower, slide down a fire pole, collect coins, solve some puzzles, swing across some swings and into some boxes. If they fall off the course, they'll be disqualified and judged on their distance traveled. The man and woman with the fastest time will win the daily and make their decisions for the week, and the woman with the slowest time will go straight into elimination. For losing last week's daily, Michelle will have a 30-second penalty. Bananas goes first. After a slight mistake missing a coin, he kind of eats this and finishes the course. Jenny tells us that she's been sandbagging in the challenges, so she's not seen as a threat, and she also beasts the course. Kyland flies through it and doesn't make the same mistakes as Bananas, and has a new nickname from Derek. On top of Kyland Calculator, he's Kyborg now, as Naya says she's turned on by his efforts. Kara falls right in the beginning of the course, setting a really low bar for the rest of the girls, but Naya and Olivia both fall around the same part. I'll be honest with y'all, the rock climbing part of this looks really hard, but I'm not a rock climber. I don't know what I am, I'm not a rock climber. We montage through the rest of the players competing with various success, with Theo being highlighted moseying at a pace that Nehemiah compares to his own aunt, and Aviv falls towards the end and seems to hurt her foot. Michelle and her penalty make it up to the rope ladder, but she falls, meaning none of the LOLs made it to the top of the climb. They were LOLFOTFL. Ladies of Leisure falling on the floor, losing. Finally, Tori does well, and Kara tells us that she has a lot of respect for Tori as a competitor. This moment for Tori felt very winner's edity. Following the challenge, TJ announces the winners as Kyland and Jenny. The last place man is Theo, who will get a disadvantage in next week's daily. Naya came in last place for the women and will go straight into elimination. Bad news for the LOLs, as Kyland will basically have to pick which of his friends will go against his girlfriend in elimination. Later at the club, where we're all family, Michelle tells Kyland that she's cool with his decision either way. Short hair Olivia is feeling froggy and confronts Bananas for calling her a snake. She's also dressed like a snake, which doesn't really help her case. Bananas announces to the whole group that he's rocking with his angels, and publicly tells Naya that Jordan isn't prioritizing or protecting her. Bananas also calls out Tori, who gets activated, and I guess at the club we're not all family because it's fight night, baby. Nobody's loving this more than Derek, who's sipping his entire carafe of sangria and living for the show. At this point, Bananas knows he's getting nominated no matter what, so he's probably decided to just drink about it. The next day at the house, Rachel is back on her social game. She makes a new alliance with Corey and Nehemiah, 2 players who are really close with each other, but nobody seems to have scooped up so far. Naya approaches Bananas, asking about what he said about Jordan the night before at the club. She's upset to hear that Jordan has been putting other women ahead of her. In the chamber, Jenny says that Naya is the only person who cares about her, and Michelle quickly calls Jenny trash for saying that, and Kyland quickly says that he's picking Michelle, especially because she said she was cool with it at the club. Back in the house, Naya pulls Jordan aside, asking him about his priorities. He doesn't confirm or deny anything, which does effectively tell her that she's not a priority. At the arena, TJ is wearing his finest Halloween orange to explain that Michelle and Naya will be playing 40fication. They need to solve equations to unlock crates, and the first woman to transport their unlocked crates to the mat wins the elimination. They get started, and Michelle is moving at what Bananas calls a slow pace, but Naya is stuck and not doing well with her mathematics, seemingly still on her first equation when Michelle starts moving boxes. The show really is trying to paint that Naya can catch up, but as a viewer, I'm really not buying it, and Naya does end up moving a good amount of boxes, but Michelle kind of gobbled this and beats Naya by about 15 crates. So we lose Naya here, who I feel came on the season with the goal of just not recreating her worst hits, show up on TV and be a more refined version of herself. She had some hookups and got into, I guess, a relationship with Kyland. I don't know how much I really buy them as a couple, but if it works, I guess. She also joined the LOLs, which was really lame for everyone involved. Through all of this reinvention, we didn't really get to see much of her relationship with Jordan until the very end, where even he kind of forgot about their history, and I feel like through trying to reinvent herself, she lost a lot of the edge that would make me want her on a reality show, and ended up going out with a whisper here. I feel like she's rewritten her story, and now I'm not sure if I want to see the continuation of anything that was started here. After Naya's elimination, Michelle gets to pick targets for next week, and she picks Bananas, Jordan, and Nehemiah. For entertainment's sake, I kind of hope none of the targets go home. Bananas and Jordan are driving a lot of the plot, and Nehemiah is just such a delight. But that's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the episode. I'm also excited to give out some prizes. Like I said, the first 10 people to comment with 3 of the spooky visitors throughout the video will get a prize and shout out from me. If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll be back next week with more challenge. Until then, have a safe and happy Halloween. Goodbye.